Some disappointment for players that were looking to get that extra mastery point in Act 4. Of course, something that is, really important for new players is to progress further in the game, grabbing mastery points as you go, and of course, improving masteries. That's what points are for. But one thing that's been a bit of an issue since August of last year was that players were missing a mastery point, and this happened when the mode got buffed. So a good example of this is you can see right here. So you can see the mastery point you get at the point of exploration. So, okay, if you had completed Act 4 and you're like, okay, I want to go and explore it to get that mastery point, then you would find this image right here, which of course is a problem. For those that don't know why this is a problem, is that if you've already completed it, how can you get that mastery point? That mastery point is theoretically gone into the ether. It's gone into another world. It's gone into the multiverse, and you're not able to retrieve it back. And of course, that is a problem. More so a problem as if you are a player that might have, and this is odd. I've not seen this before, where a player's, and I didn't notice this back when I first covered this story back, in August. This player is level 60 and has yet to finish all those mastery points, which of course mastery points are really important, and even more so nowadays. I mean, if you've completed Necropolis, you do get yourself another mastery point, which could be helpful to elevate something. You have a mastery set up, you're like, oh, I really would like a little bit more in assassin, or a little bit somewhere else in the tree. But of course, with these disappointing times, and players have missed out. And this was something, as I said, we covered on the channel multiple times. And back in August, it did look like something would be kind of looked into getting it fixed. Just want to let you know that we are working to fix those affected. It's back in August from Mike. And of course, time went on. Players... And look, this isn't something that affects everybody, but it does affect certain few that would like to make those gains when it comes to the mastery points. And of course, it's lost mastery points. It's lost. It's gone. There's nothing at the moment you can do to grab it back. September... we did not forget about this. Until you hear otherwise, you are safe to assume that the previous communications are still true. The team is still working on it. Again, we go forward into the future on the matter, and we're in November, and there's still nothing of a response. I believe reading somewhere that I think it was Kabam Jack, said that it would be something in January they'd be looking to kind of like deal with. Or maybe I was wrong. Oh no, I was right. It was Kabam Mike instead. Hey all, I know this has taken a while, but this has not been forgotten. The process to get these out and ensure we don't accidentally give somebody more than the possible amount of mastery points is more complex than I had initially thought. We're still working on it, but are aiming for January to get these out right now. I know that's a long time after the issue started, but that's not for lack of trying. We're also reaching a bit of I say important or scuff time, in that raids have just gone in and the mode needs looking at. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know the extent of the Kabam team as to what they can take on in one given time. But if there's something where the team has to meet in, completely together and go, okay, well, look, this mode isn't working on the point of launch. We need to change it out, or we're designing something, we have to we can't allot any time to this, then of course that becomes a bit of a problem as to dealing with situations like this. So it's a time, isn't it? But of course people are going to be interested in when to see that they've got these mastery points that's sorted, and I believe people are sending in tickets about it, support tickets. But unfortunately, it's not going to get you the answers that you would like. And that's an issue as well. I think Kabam are dealing with a lot of support tickets after Alliance raids. And of course, that shifts the priorities because it's something that they want to regularly put in. And this would be... And it's no disrespect to all kind of people within here. It's just something that Kabam aren't able to kind of give you any time to get resolved. But of course, it would be nice to get it resolved as well. People are missing mastery points. I'd be pretty bummed if there was an issue with the Necropolis mastery point, and I'd be like, well, I'd actually quite like that. I'm building a new mastery set. Funnily enough, after I finish Necropolis, I've got to redo my masteries again. I've also got to I've got to sink some units into building a separate Battlegrounds related mastery setup, so a loadout for that. And that's, of course, going to cost me units, but of course I need to be very careful about mastery points, about where I'm spending them, how I'm spending them, and what's going to be most effective to maximize damage potential. But that's something. If I was missing out that extra mastery point, then I'd be a little bit annoyed with that because I had plans for it. It's not just a case of putting it in greater strength or something, you know, not something pointless, but something that I'd like it to make a difference. I don't normally run willpower. I'd like to give that extra mastery point to run willpower. So that's going to be, you know, an important thing as well. And look, interesting because, you know, players are reaching out to Kabam to say, how's the compensation looking? A few thousand units on top of the mastery points were due, wouldn't go amiss. I mean, that's a bit excessive. I thought this was going to be quite a few summoners, along with myself, have been missing 4 points for the better part of 6 months now. And I'd really appreciate if your team could get the fiasco sorted before I do my first necro run. Right, I don't think you're getting that. Yeah, a compensation package, I don't think Kabam will give out that. Not to be trying to be as sympathetic as possible to people in the community. I just got to be a bit of a realist. You really think Kabam are going to give out a load of units? They've had so many problems recently with AI, and they haven't even put out like a revive compensation package, which I think they should do. Even some energy in some regards, even something for alliance raids kind of could be looked into at some stage. Even some previous problems. Kabam aren't giving out anything nowadays. It's just how it is. So you've got to be a bit of a realist. We'll update you when we have more information to share. At this time, we do not. There is no compensation planned, and I encourage you not to send tickets to support team on this. You've seen what we have said so far, and there is no additional information our support team can give you. As you know, timelines can change in a live game, and we have an update timeline. We will let you know the tech requirements for this being done is a lot more than just sending out a few missing crystals. Spamming the forums or our support team will not change that. So that gives you a bit of an example. I think there's an air of frustration there that there's no resolution as quick as possible. But with masteries, there's something seems to be so specific about masteries in that it just seems to be an issue. A weird issue. I think even more so when you look at the likes of, mastery loadouts? So like mastery loadouts. It's weird that Battlegrounds is where this is fine. But when it comes to like everything else, it's a real big problem. I wouldn't say it's bizarre, but it's just a case of, it feels like it's bizarre, but I don't know what happens underneath the HUD, underneath the engine, in the engine, in the car, inside the car, whatever. Like, we just don't know to the extent of like, well, what's problematic about this game that they can't easily sort things out. Weird times, isn't it? And masteries are so specific. I really hope for mastery loadouts, but that's something that I just don't know when. I just don't know when. And even then, it's like switching between different loadouts would just kind of be like you all sink in 300 units worth of cost to switch between normal mastery set and suicide mastery set. It's kind of like, man, I don't know. But I just like that kind of ease. Having something ease, but also not so costing for the player. But in any case, that has been the video. Whenever I don't know, I'm pre-recording a load of stuff at the moment, so I don't know when the schedule is for releasing stuff. But what's everyone's thoughts on this subject? Of course, it is something that will only affect a specific player base minority, but look, problems nevertheless. Thoughts in any case. Thanks for watching. Check out some other content. I'll see you soon. Much love. Goodbye.